Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday and it's time for a special one-off video. Now, normally we do reviews twice a week on this channel. On a Wednesday, myself and Ryland look at 4 tricks on the Craig and Ryland review show. And then on a Sunday, we do a review show special on a new product and we take a deep dive into it. Now, the trouble is there's 2 big tricks that have come out this week. Bricked is the first trick that's come out by Drew Perry. That's going up as a review show special on Sunday with an exclusive interview with Drew Perry. But at the same time, a new trick dropped from Murphy's studio and Tobias Dostal, which is Repo, which a lot of people are talking about. So, as a one-off, this Friday, today, right now, I'm going to do a review and a full performance of Repo. Now, a lot of people have been buzzing about this for the last couple of weeks. I actually saw Tobias Dostal do this live at the South Tyneside Magic Convention. I was aware of it a few weeks before that because Lloyd Barnes had sent me a video of him performing it and raving about how good it was. And when I saw him do it live, when I saw him do it on video, I had no idea how it worked. And then I got a copy of it. Now, I will tell you, I'm all for total full disclosure. I have not bought this. Murphy's sent me this. It's rare that anybody sends me anything to review, but Murphy's sent me this to review, so I've not paid for it. Take that into consideration. I'm still going to be completely unbiased, but it's something that you should know. Now, so back to this. When I got this, I had no idea what the gimmick was. I had no idea how this would even be possible. I had no idea about anything. And when I watched the tutorial, which runs for about an hour and 15 minutes, there's divided into 2 videos. The first is about an hour. The second one's about 20 minutes. And I watched how this was done. I was blown away. I have never seen a gimmick like this before. And I've seen gimmicks that are similar to this, but I've never seen a gimmick designed to do this particular thing. We'll get into that in a minute. First of all, what is Repo? Well, as it says here, a chain of unusual events. Imagine holding a simple necklace only to watch it magically transform into a key in the palm of your spectator's hands. Under your power, the key and the necklace vanish, appear, transpose, and transform in a bewildering and amazing sequence of unusual events. And that doesn't even do it justice. Like, this is so good. It really is. This is incredible. There's so much that you can do with this. Now, I'm going to start off by playing you a trailer. If you've not seen Repo before, I'd love you to have a look at the trailer. This gives you a rough idea of the visuals of this trick. Later on, I'm going to perform a couple of routines. You're also going to see performances from Tobias on this video as well. But first of all, let's have a look at a trailer. So this is a trailer of the trick. This is a trailer of Repo.
If I do this slowly. Oh, wait. We do it one more time. From here. 1, 2.
When the key disappeared and it came back, felt like a little tug on the chain, and then it just was there, and I was like, what?
At the beginning, I think Repo was just one chain that disappeared in my left hand and reappeared out of thin air on my fingertips. When I showed it to all my magician friends, they were really looking and they couldn't find a way to reconstruct where this goes and how it comes back.
Magic in my own hands. I have no idea how he did it.
This is just a really nice feeling if you get your magicians around you asking you how is it done.
And he was able to place the chain onto my hand and transform it into a key somehow. It was nuts.
If you break it down and look at the chain itself, and you see that it's made out of little small connections that go full circle, combined with a key that stands for symbolically for so many open possibilities. You created something out of that moment, giving us so much freedom to work with. Look at this. The more I imagine the things, the more they become reality. This is the room of imagination. In this room, everything is possible. But the funny part is, it's not about that key or something, right? Because that key never existed. It's all about that chain. Yeah, check it out. Can you open your hand for me? Sometimes the imagination, right? It's just the key to your reality.
How in the world? Oh my gosh.
We're going to take it slowly. Now check this out. 1, 2. Goes back to you. I think a simple change is something that everybody can connect with and has so many options to it, so it's just a beautiful tool.
It was a chain. How in the world that it felt in my hand?
Me as a magician, I always have this preference that it's an experience for the spectator, so if it happens in their hands, the better. Can you open your hand? Here, check this out. If I put it just in your hand, like this, it's actually the key.
No. Wait.
It's the key of imagination.
Dude,
It was magic, man. That's all I can say. It was magic.
And I love to perform this because it's so elegant. It's a really beautiful moment when some jewelry appears in midair. And I can play this object in a frame where I have it up on eye level and everybody can see it. You know what? This key that never existed. You know, this is like, there's so many factors come together why I love this effect so much.
There's like no line. No, I know.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know. I'm
It was
freaked
not
out. What are you doing? How are you doing it?
So what you just saw there is the trailer for Repo, and I'll tell you right now, Tobias Dostal is a very clever man. He is one of the most creative people that I have ever seen. The stuff that he comes up with is very, very different to anything else. I mean, you saw that with Liquify earlier this year. You're seeing it again now with Repo. He's just a clever guy. And I don't think anybody else could have thought of this particular routine other than Tobias Dostal. I think that Tobias was the guy that had to come up with this. I really do believe that. And I will tell you up front right now, before we get any further, I'm going to tell you, I think this is probably going to be the trick of 2024. It's dropping at roughly the same time that Demi-Deck dropped last year, and a lot of people said that Demi-Deck was their trick of 2024 by Angelo Carbone. This year, I think it's Repo. I don't think there's anything that's going to touch it. I was chatting to a couple of friends about this trick when I saw the trailer, and we were trying to guess method, and I literally had no idea. I had no idea how it could be done. And I thought, there's no way that's practical. And let me explain why I thought it wasn't practical. Tobias's stuff is practical, but it's also very, very fiddly. You know, you look at Candyman that came out last year. It's an incredible vanish of candy, basically. But it's the sort of trick that you can pick up easily, but it takes a long time to make it look really good. Liquify is the same thing. You can pick it up very, very easily, but it takes a long time to make it look good. And I thought, well, this is probably going to be the same sort of thing. And it's not. It's going to take a little bit of work, but I've only been working on this for maybe a couple of days, and you can see a performance of me doing it in a bit. And although it's not perfect, I've got it at a level where I'm more than happy to go and gig it in the real world. And as I go and gig it and as I go and perform it, I think it'll just get better and better. This is probably the easiest and the most accessible trick that Tobias has brought out so far, at least out of the tricks that I'm aware of. It's very, very accessible. It's very, very commercial. So, first of all, before we talk about what you get in the set, before we talk about everything, angles, and we talk about difficulty rating and everything, I'm going to show you a performance of one of the routines. I say one of the routines because there's an awful lot of stuff that you can do with Repo, but I'm going to do a performance of one of the routines. Now, Jack's not here this week, so I'm doing the performance to camera, but you'll get an idea of exactly what happens with Repo. So this is a performance of sort of one of the routines, one of the first routines that you learn on the project. See, this is all about a conversation I had yesterday with Ryland. Ryland and I were talking about magic, and he said something that I disagree with. He said that kids are better at magic than adults. Now, I disagree with that, but what I can't disagree with is his reasoning. He said that adults, they lose their imagination. Kids have amazing imaginations, but adults, they lose their imagination. And because they lose their imagination, it basically means that that they're not as good at magic. And it's true. You know, as we grow up, we stop believing in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, and instead, we have to worry about things like finances and where to live and mortgages and rent and stuff like that. So a lot of people do lose their imagination. But if you can still use your imagination, anything is possible. You see, this key right here, I want to imagine that this key unlocks my imagination. I want to imagine I've got a little cupboard here, a little imagination cupboard. And if I take this key and I unlock it like this and I open up the cupboard, that is full of my imagination. And if I reach into there, I can take anything out that I want. In this case, that is a little metal chain. Now, if you were here, right there with me, you could examine this chain. You could look at this chain. You could check this chain out. This is a real solid chain. But this chain exists because I'm imagining this chain. If I stop imagining this chain, even for a split second, if I stop believing that this chain exists, then this chain will no longer exist. Which is not a problem because I have my imagination cupboard, which is way dodgier than I expected it to be. Open up my imagination cupboard, reach inside the imagination cupboard, and I have another chain. Actually, I'm lying to you. This is the same chain. Now, here's the thing. You could touch this chain. You could examine the chain. This is the key to the cupboard. We have the key to the cupboard, and we have we have this chain, a solid chain, a solid key. You see the key there, right, Michael?
Yeah.
If I just take this chain and dip it down into my fist, I can make the impossible possible. We all know it's not possible for a solid key to link onto a solid chain, but that's exactly what's happened. I can even take it off again. Now, if I was using my imagination and I really believed in using my imagination, I could have that link on there anytime I want to. But we've talked about this. If I stop believing, even for a split second, that key will no longer exist. The only thing that will exist is the chain. Michael, here's a question. Can you see the chain right there?
Yeah.
You can. Good. I'm going to do this very, very slowly, and I want you to watch. I'm just going to pop the chain right there, and all I have to do is squeeze. And when I do, the key, the chain turns into the key. I can lock the cupboard just like this, and that is a little piece of imagination. I don't have a pocket, I'll just hold it here. This is a little piece of imagination. I love this trick. I think this trick is absolutely amazing. Guys, do me a favor. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You want to see my full review, you can go and check out the full review. It's available from dealers worldwide. I think it's brilliant. I'm giving it trick of the year. You want to see more videos like this? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back again tomorrow at 6 o'clock with another Magic Live. I'll see you then. So what you just saw there was a performance of one of the routines that you can do with Repo. One of many different routines. But that right there is super commercial, like super commercial. Look at the visuals on there. Now, what are the angles like? That's the first thing that people are going to be worried about. What are the angles like and how commercial is it? And is it practical in the real world? First of all, yes, it's absolutely practical in the real world. Second of all, the angles are great. They are really good. If people are watching you from behind, you're going to be in trouble. If people are watching you, the angles are really kind of like a 180. If you're a little bit further back from a 180, you might be able to see what's going on. Although if you are aware that people are behind you, you could block those angles quite well. But this is something where you really want people kind of in a 180 position from the front. Your body is going to be blocking a lot of people from behind. But realistically, you know, you're doing a banquet table. There's like 10 people sitting down and they're all watching you. This is perfect. You're doing strolling and everyone's in front of you, different positions. This is perfect. The angles for this are actually really good. And in actual fact, there's not a lot of palming. You're not actually palming it. The gimmick is doing all the work for you. So the angles are great. Now, in terms of difficulty, you're going to get a gimmick. Now, this gimmick will just sit in your pocket, and when you want to go into this routine, you can literally put your hands in your pocket and you can get the gimmick and you're good to go. This gimmick, it hides in plain sight. Tobias, when he's teaching how the gimmick works, he says that in some ways it's a little bit like a thumb tip, and I understand where he's talking from. It's not a thumb tip. It's nothing like a thumb tip, but I understand where it's coming from when he says that. But the gimmick is very easy and very accessible. Once you've got the gimmick in place, you can go into a plethora of different routines depending on the way that you want to go with this. The routine that you just saw me do a performance of is actually relatively easy to do. As I say, there's no palming. You need to be aware of angles. You need to be aware of audience management. You need to be aware of, it's going to take some practice, but it's not that difficult a thing to do. And when you do it, I started playing around with this a few evenings ago, and Ryland was sitting on the sofa and I was sitting on the sofa, and he didn't even know what this was. He just saw me open up a box. He was practicing card manipulation, and he just saw me take the chain and put it into my hand and show it's gone. And he just looked at me and he went, "Where the hell did that chain go?" And then I showed my hand empty and reproduced it, and he was like, "What the hell is going on?" Ryland doesn't get fooled very often, and he just didn't have a clue. It didn't make any sense to him at all. So that routine is great. Yeah, I mean, it's probably helped that I've got experience doing coin magic. That has definitely helped me get to a point where I feel quite comfortable with this, comfortable to the point that I'm actually going to start gigging it. But even if you've got no experience with that sort of thing, if this is the sort of thing that you want to do, you can. And what's nice about it is it's very very accessible. Tobias as a teacher is an incredible teacher. He leaves no stone unturned. He goes through everything. And he what I like about what Tobias does, and you saw this on Liquify, and you're seeing it getting here, is he takes things step by step, and he's like, right, okay, the first thing you need to do is this. The second thing you need to do is this. The third thing you need to do is this. And he almost teaches things in a step-by-step approach, which is great. Now, you saw on the trailer that there's several routines where it's almost like a ring and string routine where you have the chain and the key will link onto the chain and then link off and then link on and then vanish, and you know, you can put it onto the spectator's hand and you can have the key disappear and appear on the chain while it's on the spectator's hand. All of that is very, very achievable with minimal audience management. You get lots of gimmicks inside the set. So you get the chain, you get the main gimmick, and you get, without giving too much away, a bunch of other stuff, right? Which allows you to go in various different directions depending on the way you want to go with this. But you can have a chain with a key on it. You can have it examined. Absolutely. You can then immediately pull that key off. You can put it back on again. You can take the key, pull it off, and have it appear on the chain held by the spectator. And that is very, very fair. Not only is it very fair, it's actually really easy to do. It's probably easier than the main routine. Linking a key onto the chain and then pulling it off and making it vanish and appear on the chain on their hand is probably easier than the routine that I showed you earlier. In fact, I did a short for our YouTube channel. I did a short of just that, where I'm showing a chain, I'm taking the key off, I'm linking it back on again, I'm taking it off, throw it in the air and making it appear on the chain. And it looks amazing. I'll show you that reel, actually. I'll show you that reel that we've shot for YouTube. Let's have a look at that. Now, what you just saw there was the key vanishing and appearing on the chain in my hand, but it's just as easy to make it appear on the spectator's hand. In fact, that's one of the things I love about this. One of the things that I love about this set is so much of it can happen in the spectator's hands. So you can take that chain, put it on the spectator's hands, make the key disappear, make it appear while the spectator's holding onto it. That moment that you saw when I showed you the first video, where you put the chain into your hand and it immediately turns into a key and your hands are empty, you can do that into a spectator's hand. You can take the chain, put it into the spectator's hand, they feel the chain hitting their hand, and yet and then when you move your hand away, your hands are empty and they've got the key. You know, all of this Tobias talks about in great detail, about how you can do that, how you can have the chain turn into the key in the spectator's hands. All of this is possible. And then you've got, outside of the sort of the linking on and off of the key, which looks incredible, by the way, you could just do that. If you didn't want to use the gimmick, if you did not want to use the gimmick at all, the main gimmick that makes all the vanishing and everything happen, you could just have a chain handed out. There's a key on there. They can look at the chain. They can examine it. You can immediately pull the key off the chain. They can see the keys come off the chain. You can then put it back on again and show it once more, have it examined. You can pull it off again. You can put it on the spectator's hands. You can vanish it. You can make it appear on the chain in their hand, and you don't even need to use the main gimmick. There's so many options with this set, which is great. And then what Tobias is going to do is he's going to go into essentially other uses of the gimmick. So he's got this really cool thing called short-changed, where you take the chain, you just take a chain, and as you put it into your hand, you see it starting to disappear, and as it disappears, coins keep dropping from your empty hands, and then you end up with just lots of little silver coins and the chain's gone. It's almost like the chain has turned into coins, which looks amazing. You've also got a routine with salt where it looks like the chain turns into salt, or it turns into sand, and that's super visual as well. I tell you what you do get with this set, and I don't want to let you see any of the gimmicks, so I'm just going to be very careful when I open this. You get one of these, and this isn't even on the trailer, so you might not be aware of this, but you get a little red envelope, and it's made out of Tyvek, so it's going to last a long time. And this envelope is amazing. You can take the chain and you can drop the chain into the envelope. You can close it up. They can hear it in there, and immediately it will vanish. And when it vanishes, you can reproduce it over here. Then you can have the chain, you can show the envelope again, you can have the chain vanish, and they can hear it in the envelope, and you can open it up and tip it out. And it's amazing because they really are seeing that chain dropped in there. It's not like there's a secret compartment or anything. This is a normal envelope, other than it's made out of Tyvek. The chain actually goes in there, and then the chain vanishes, and they can check and it's vanished, and then you can show your hand empty and you can reproduce the chain. And he's got a really nice variation on the second video where you can put the chain in here or in your hand, and you can have it so that you take their hearing away. And he's got this really nice presentation where he starts talking, and then they can hear the chain inside here, and all of a sudden it's almost like you've taken all the sound away. Like he stopped like that, and you know, you can see his lips moving, but you can't hear what he's saying, but you also can't hear the chain in the envelope, and then all of a sudden the sound comes back, they can hear you talking again, and you tip the chain out. So it's not like a vanish of the chain, but it's like giving someone the ability to lose their hearing temporarily. It's very 100th Monkey. I very much love that. And then there's other routines as well. He's got this great routine where he takes away people's touch. So they see the chain, but when he's putting it into their hand, they can't feel it. And then all of a sudden it vanishes as he puts it into their hand. And it's almost like you've taken their sense of touch away. There's a bunch of different routines on here. And that's what I really love about this project. It would have been very easy for Tobias to have the gimmick and go, right, okay, I've got this gimmick, this is what it does, thanks very much, 15-minute tutorial, wham, wham, thank you, ma'am. That would have been, and people would have bought it in bucket loads because it's a very clever thing, it looks great, it's going to get really good reviews. He could have done that, but instead, you can tell he's worked this in a lot. You can see this is something that Tobias has done over and over again, and you can see that by the live performances, and you can see it also by the reactions from the people that are watching and how thorough the tutorial is. talking about live performances, I'm going to show you a few live performances of Tobias doing this now. Let's have a look at a few performances of Tobias doing this in a real world environment.
I brought something else.
Aw.
It's a tiny key, but it is for a very big room. Can I show you this? Look at this. The more I imagine here things, the more they become reality. This is the room of imagination. And in this room, open this here. In this room, everything is possible, you know? But the funny part is, it's not about that key or something, right? Because that key never existed. It's all about that chain. Yeah, check it out. Can you open your hand for me? Sometimes the imagination, right? It's just the key to your reality.
How in the world? Oh my gosh.
No, you're.
This is what I'm keeping here.
Yeah, I need that key. That was insane.
It was a chain. How in the world?
I like saw it in your skin.
Yeah, I felt it in my hand.
You want to check it out? It's a key. And normally this is my key of imagination.
I'm checking the integrity of this thing.
Bite it.
What's your name?
Dion.
Dion?
Dion.
Dion. Okay, can you help me for this? Okay, that's perfect. Can you put your beer a little bit away? I don't want to make any mistakes here. And could you put your hand like that? Okay. Very nice. I just put this on you. Okay. You hold it higher so everybody can see this. Okay. Watch. Just take it slowly off from you. But the best part is, this just happens as well, just in your imagination. Anyway. Yeah. For example, if I take this very slowly. You will not believe me, there was never a key. Yeah, here. Open your hand. It's really windy. I just want you to maybe can you close your hand? Right? Look. And I mean, inside imagination, everything can be possible. What do you have? It's like this direct.
What the heck? Oh my goodness.
Can I put this over your hand? Can you hold it here? Trying to put it on, but in the most magical way I can. One, two. It's back to you.
There's like no line.
No, I know.
So to be clear, everything I normally bitch about a tutorial has not been done. Thoroughly explained, lots of different variations, very well structured tutorial. A few times he's got Javier there with him to help him explain a couple of different bits and pieces. You can tell Tobias has thought through how to explain this. There's multiple live performances, so you can see it done in the real world. The gimmicks are really well made. They're gonna last a very long time. You get something in the set which is going to wear out over time, but Tobias tells you where you can get it from. It's a very common object that you can get from pretty much anywhere, and you get enough stuff in the set to last you a very long time anyway. But the props that you get, I mean, obviously the chain is a thin chain, it's fragile, but barring you having a temper tantrum and shaking this chain and ripping it up into bits, this is something that's going to last a long time. It's just phenomenal. I've got nothing else to say about this. This trick is absolutely amazing. I think, I'm calling it right now, Repo by Murphy Studio and by Tobias Dostal is Trick of the Year. This is something I'm excited about going and performing in the real world. I don't get excited about everything. Even if I give something a good review, it might not go in the real world straight away. This is something that I want to put into my next gig. I've got a gig on Thursday. I'm filming this on Tuesday. I want to put this in my next walk around gig because I think this is going to kill people. I love this. I love its practicality. It's examinable. You make that chain appear, you can examine it. There's so many different moments where everything's examinable before, during, afterwards. It's completely commercial. You just have it in your pocket and it's good to go. You leave it in there and you can do this anytime you want to. It's an instant reset. You can go into multiple different routines depending on which way you want to go with it. You don't have to do the same routine every single time. And here's the big one. And not a lot of tricks do this, but this one does. It's fun to practice. Ever since I've been playing around with this, I've just been sitting there, playing around with it, practicing it, and it's a fun routine to practice. I love this. I super love this. I'm going to give this 200%, and I'm calling it right now. I think this is Trick of the Year. I think this beats Liquify. I think this beats everything that I've seen. This is great. This is amazing. I love this, and I cannot see anybody being disappointed with this trick. It is that good. Gets 200% from me. I hear people saying all the time, you can't give something 200%. Yes, I can. It's my review show. I'm giving it 200%. I spoke to Ryland. Ryland's giving this 200% as well, plus Tulin. This is amazing. Like I say, call me biased if you want to, because Murphy sent me one of these. But I'm telling you straight, I've got a habit of telling the truth on this channel, and I'm telling you right now, this is the Trick of the Year. This is amazing, and I think everybody is going to pick this up, and everyone is going to love it. So there you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag, a special one on Friday today. I'll be back on Sunday with another review show special all about Bricked. If you're at the Newmarket Magic Shindig this weekend, come along and say hi. I'm going to be there all weekend with the fam and Matt. And yeah, other than that, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And if you want to join the Netrix, it's www.thenetrix.com. That's www.thenetrix.com. Go and join in now, get access. You can see what all the fuss is about. All the cool kids are joining, so you may as well. I'll see you again soon. Go buy this. Just go and buy this. I guarantee you, you won't be disappointed. Tobias, if you're watching this, you, my friend, are a bloody genius. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.